So let's say you own an Xbox Series X or an Xbox Series S, or maybe you're still on the old school Xbox One. This is a warning from Microsoft themselves. Yeah, this doesn't sound too good, and this is something that I feel like a lot of people kind of worry about when it comes to Microsoft's new direction and things like this in general just happening the way that they do. I hope that it's not the case. I hope that we can see that Microsoft make some changes, or that maybe this is like a wake-up call for them. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this works, but like I said, I'm excited for it, and I think a lot of other people are as well. So again, thank you guys for watching. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for watching. I certainly appreciate it. If you guys like daily content and you like fun yet informative videos, then this is definitely the place for you. I'm very much appreciative of what you guys do. And, again, I just kind of want to say I thank you guys. So with that being said, Microsoft issues a pretty significant warning with regards to all of this kind of stuff. And Microsoft, this is the kind of stuff that happens a lot with them. It looks like Xbox Live went down. That's not the big news, right? Xbox Live going down, not exactly like the big earth-shattering news or anything like that. But what I would say is kind of big news is the fact that this outage is actually affecting your ability to launch your digital games, and that is a really big deal in my opinion, and that's probably the bigger thing that's going on here in my opinion, is that you're not able to go out there and play your games or whatever the case may be, and that's just unfortunate. For me, I think that it's just one of those things where we have to look at what Microsoft is doing and how they can possibly change that over the next console generation or whatever the case may be. I think you have to be able to do some things there that are going to give us some kind of break there. I mean, you can't just not allow us to play our games or whatever. That's like the big problem with this. I know like people will go, oh, well, you never really own anything anyway, but I kind of disagree with that. So Xbox Network, previously known as Xbox Live, is down for users in many regions, reporting that their consoles could not connect to the internet and they were unable to launch digital games at the time. There was actually no update from the official social account, and the Xbox status page was showing no issues despite widespread reports. The outage was fixed, could be fixed quickly without much issues, however. If you're experiencing any issues related to Xbox Network before, you make sure you can check and see if there's some troubleshooting issues in there. Microsoft continually reports the Xbox Network status on the official Xbox support site, and I'm going to link this and you guys can check it out. You can monitor the current status of all services and features related to the Xbox Network, and you can report any issues or outages directly to Microsoft through Xbox support. Through Twitter/X is also a good resource for updates on Xbox Network status. For in-depth information about this, like I said, those are probably the best places to kind of go. But you know what? It's just one of those things where we're kind of like, I guess, stuck just doing what we're doing. And this is like the outage of the network isn't really a big deal to me, in my opinion. What I think the big deal is the inability to actually go out there and play your games that you own. That's something that I feel like is the bigger issue, just in my humble opinion. And at the same time, we tend to see this kind of thing pop up quite a bit, and that's realistically a big issue, especially considering that Microsoft is going to have ever more kind of waiting for people to get the next Xbox or whatever, and that's I think a major issue going on right now. It's just like, hey, it's not so much the ability to play online, but maybe the ability to actually go out there and play your games. I think that's probably the big issue for me personally. Now is that something that Microsoft has control over? Absolutely. Not everybody has the same ability or whatever when it comes to gaming. So, we'll see if that's something that they can change. I don't know. Like, to me, it's annoying that happens. And, again, it's all on Microsoft because there's DRM, like a ton of DRM baked into what Microsoft is doing with the Xbox and things like that. So, hopefully it's not something that affects you, or if it does, not too long. But again, let's hope that Microsoft really kind of goes out there and, make sure that we have games and ability to play our games regardless, because I feel like that is super important, just kind of going forward, whatever the case may be. And you guys might agree with that. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But at least for me and my point of view, that's how I kind of look at this. You really need to kind of step up Microsoft to make sure that people have the ability to, actually access their games. And the worst part is sometimes this stuff, the way that it happens is that you can't even play physical games sometimes. So I'm not really sure what the deal is with that, but I would love to see a situation where we can kind of change that around a little bit, a little bit less dependent on the online stuff, just because I would like to see something like that actually pop up and happen, so I don't know. What do you guys think, though? Did you guys have issues actually jumping online and playing the games? I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments below if this has been a problem for you or possibly been a problem for you in the past. Like I said, it's just really something that probably shouldn't be an issue, but just really seems like it is lately. So that's just naturally something that I'm kind of like just shaking my head on a little bit about. But again, you guys might have a little bit different experience, and depending on where you're actually from. But I always felt like, just because, and this is the reason why I say, if Microsoft leaves the hardware industry, we could potentially lose our games. It's because of stuff like this, because it's not just about okay, well, they'll still publish games and be a publisher, so the servers for those games will be online. Our consoles connect to servers, and those servers allow us to play games through checks. Like, I know people don't believe that or whatever, but they're all full of DRM. And unfortunately, this is a situation where we all kind of have this kind of going on, where none of us realistically have an idea of when that can change. And to be honest with you, I kind of hope that Microsoft does something that that allows us to like keep our games and be able to play our games, because I think that's like very important going forward. I mean, if you paid for something, then you should be able to keep it. That's honestly the kind of biggest kind of idea that I can come up with in terms of Xbox. I would love for Microsoft to be able to come up with a way to support the gamers and things like that. And again, that's realistically something that us as gamers should be able to kind of get into and say, hey, you know what, Microsoft, they really turned that around, or whatever the case may be. And maybe they will turn that around. Maybe enough people complain about this or whatever, and that'll be what'll happen. We'll have to wait and see. But we'll have to, like I said, it's on Microsoft to make things right. It's on Microsoft to kind of go out there and make sure that we all have the ability to play our games and enjoy the games that we want to. So, like I said, we pay for them. We should be able to kind of access them. And I've always felt that way. At the end of the day, that's the way that it should be. And that's the way that Microsoft should make it. I don't care what your affiliation is with Microsoft, or you could think Xbox is the greatest thing in the world, but when you buy games and have a digital library, you should be able to enjoy those games offline, online. It doesn't really matter, right? Like, honestly, it doesn't matter. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on with that, and I'll let you guys know if things can if things can change. Like I said, anything can change, and some people might already be experiencing being able to play, but I think any type of outage on the ability to play the games that you own is ridiculous. So we'll see what's going to be going on there. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy the content, please leave a like. And if you guys don't enjoy the content, maybe let me know why. I try to have fun. I try to be informative. I try to, just give my opinion on a lot of these different bits and pieces of information. Would love to hear what you guys think about that. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.